Hello everyone. So today we're going to focus on making a viral watch. Okay, for Father's Day. We got Father's Day coming up, so you can actually make this for Father's Day or another special occasion, or probably a birthday. So this is the actual template that you have. Okay, this is the actual template that you have here. So I'm actually going to kind of like start over from scratch. So you have the template, and with the viral watches, you would need to print this out twice, okay? Because you need to have the top and you need to have the bottom, okay? So the supplies that you'll need is you need an X-Acto knife, you need the templates, you need some foam board, you need sticker paper, and those are the main things you'll need. So as you notice, basically you apply the sticker paper to the foam board, and I'm actually going to show you on the other design when you apply the sticker paper. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your X-Acto knife and you're going to cut around. Okay, you're pretty much going to cut around your watch. Okay. All right, so once you cut around the watch, you have your watch here. All right, so again, like I said, you need to print this out twice. And you have your watch here. Now this is an example template, so I can make the video to show you how to do it. But when you get the actual template, the template size is going to be 16 by 20. So in order to print that, you need to go to either CVS or Walgreens to get it printed, or some type of other particular place that do prints. Make sure you have it on sticker paper. Okay, that's going to be very important, on sticker paper. Okay. All right, so you've got your watch. You also have to print out these sides. So when you print it out or whatnot, if you notice, you can't see it here. Let me move the paper here. So you have the bottom, you have the top, and you have the bottom sides, okay? So again, you'll take your X-Acto knife, and you cut it out and everything. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to actually be able to see on this next one how I've got my foam board. Now, ideally, if you have 16 by 20, you're not going to be able to put it all on one piece of foam board. You're going to need 4 pieces of foam board, okay? You're going to need 4 pieces of foam board. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here. All right, so again, I have my sticker paper, okay? I got my sticker paper. And notice I'm going to peel off the side of it. Now, I resized it for this video. So basically this is 8.5 by 11, but the original size that you'll have is going to be 16 by 20. And you are going to have to get those printed from Walgreens or CVS or some type of photo center. Again, you're going to use sticker paper. So notice what I'm doing here is I'm taking my sticker paper and I'm applying it. And notice, if you can see, this says top side and this says score this side, okay? And I'll talk about what score means in a second. All right, so notice how I've applied my sticker paper, my sides to the foam board, okay? So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much go ahead and trace the edges on this. And notice this is the top side, so I'm actually going to label in a few minutes what the top side is. Okay, so I've got my X-Acto knife. I'm going to go over it again. Okay, so notice this one has the happy on it. And so with this particular one, okay. Now I did buy this particular foam board that I'm using from the dollar store, so I would advise you, if you're actually doing this for a customer, to go to, you know, Hobby Lobby or Walmart, because they have the stronger foam board. So one particular thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a note that on this particular one, I'm going to put top, so that'll help me remember what position to put this one on. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go to the other top side. So again, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting the sides of it out. So that's my focus now, is I'm cutting the sides of it out. Okay. So I'm pretty much going to go ahead and again, I'm using the dollar store foam. So, all right, so I've got this side, and again, on the back of it, I'm going to write down, this is top. And I'm going to take this part off, or at least attempt to take this part off. Okay, so I'm taking that part off. So this is another top piece. Okay. All right, then it says score this side. So I've got this part that I'm actually going to cut out as well. So I'm going to swing this over towards this way. Just swing it over so you can actually see it as I cut it out. And again, in a few minutes, I will, when we get to start to do it, I will explain to you what score means, because there's a certain way you have to do it, so the way when we actually get ready to do one side, it actually bends. So notice how I'm taking the side. Okay. All right, so I've got this side. And then it says score this side. So again, I'll write myself a little note. And again, like I said, this is pretty much 8.5 by 11. So typically you're going to have your watch to be 16 by 20, and you have to have 4 pieces of foam board. Alright, so notice I'm cutting out my last square, or my last side. Okay. All right. Okay, so right now, let's go back and review. Put my top on. All right, so we have everything cut out, okay? All right, so we've got the watches, and we have the sides. All right, so we got all the sides. So we got the watches and all the sides. So the next thing that we're gonna need is our hot glue gun, okay? So we have our hot glue gun. All right, so because I want you to be able to see it. So remember earlier I told you that we actually wrote down what was on each one of them, so that way we would know kind of like how to start. So the first piece that we're going to start with is, again, we're going to start with, we've got a top and we've got a bottom, okay? So I'm going to flip this one over. Okay, I'm going to flip this one over. And I'm going to start with one of the top pieces, okay? Because this is blue. Notice, remember I told you I was going to write myself a note on it, okay? So what I'm going to actually do now is I'm actually going to start to hot glue it, okay? I'm pretty much going to hot glue the edges of it. So I'm pretty much, because I'm going to start with the top. Remember the top is right here. So I'm pretty much going to hot glue this part right here, okay? I'm going to hot glue this part right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my hot glue. Okay, so notice I've got my hot glue right here. Okay. All right, from that, so notice this is how it looks. It's not the best. Again, like I said, I am using the cheap type foam board from Dollar Tree. And the particular utensil I used did not do a good job of helping me with the edges, okay? But notice this is the first part of the top part, okay? I'm going to put the top away from it. Alright, so the next one that I'm going to do is I'm going to get the one. Alright, this one I made myself a note. This one also says the top, okay? So I'm going to be, that's going to be like the side. So that's going to be like right beside it, okay? So I'm going to be gluing that, both of these pretty much side by side, okay? So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take my hot glue gun. And so basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pretty much right here, side by side, okay? So you'll see how I try to match that up as best I can. So again, I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm going to pretty much put the hot glue on the side. Let me wipe my hot glue gun off. So I'm putting it on the side, the top, and the bottom. Okay, so I've got the top and the bottom. Gotta close this up a little bit more. Okay. All right, so that's what we have so far. All right, so next, what we're actually going to do, and I'm kind of making sure with the glue. So again, this is what we have so far. We've got two of our sides. So we got the top, and then the top on the side. Okay. This is what we have so far. So we're pretty much making sure this dries, because again, we're using hot glue. So we want to make sure everything is intact. Okay. So again, we have this part right here. Okay. All right. So again, like I said earlier, it's important to make sure you label each piece. Okay. You got to label each piece. Now the tricky part is going to go back to this part, because if you notice the little side here, it's kind of tricky. So where it has the score part, it's got fathers. There's a certain way that you have to do that because you got that little curve. So you have to make sure you have to do it in a way that you have to make it bend, but we'll deal with that in a second. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the one that has day on it. All right, so I found the one that has day on it. So with the day on it, it says bottom side, okay? So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting that towards the bottom side, okay? So that's going to be towards the bottom side. So okay, so if you notice right here, this is the bottom side. So I have this one. I'm trying to let that glue. Okay, for the bottom side. Okay, again, trying to let that glue for the bottom side. Then I also have the other side. Which I'm going to do the bottom. It goes right here. And then the other piece is going to go right here. So notice I got the bottom. So that was the purpose of, you know, writing the what side goes where. So I will put the hot glue on the bottom. So trying to make sure this hot glue dries. Okay, and I gotta go back on the bottom of it. Okay. Then the other one. All right, so notice again, it's important to label them. So the other one says bottom side. Gotta wait on my hot glue gun. But basically this one right here will go right here. This is where this one will go. So this is what we have so far. And I'll turn around and show you. And as you create this watch, you can also have, you know, different things to put inside of it and then put the top on it. So basically, like I said, this is going to go on the other side. So let's see. My hot glue gun does not want to cooperate with me. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on this one, put this one here, and then this piece right here. And then we're going to talk about the other two sides in a minute. But those are the two pieces that I'm going to concentrate on. So right now, what we're doing is we're hot gluing the sides. I'm trying to let my hot glue gun heat up. Let me plug in my other one. I do have another one too. So let me try to actually plug that one up. So right now I'm waiting on that glue gun, but I'm also going to plug up another hot glue gun that I have. So if one acts up, I have a backup one. So that is what we are currently waiting on. So I have another hot glue gun. Okay, we'll start again. We'll try this again with this hot glue gun. All right, with the bottom side. Because I'm waiting for my other hot glue gun. I just plugged up my other hot glue gun because I think something might be wrong with this one. It was working fine earlier. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the side of the wheel. All right, so I'm gonna try this again. Because you really don't want any of this to show. It should seamlessly fit together. And then I'm getting this piece. This piece right here was another top piece. Okay. So this was another top piece. Okay. So just to show you what we have so far. All right, so far this is what we have. Let's see, notice right here. I got that piece of plastic on. Let me get this piece of plastic off. But this is what we have so far. Okay. This is what we have so far. Okay. All right, now the next part is we have these two pieces left. So these are left around here. But if you notice, the big thing with this part is that you're going to have to do it where it's going to bend. So you're going to have to take your X-Acto knife and you're going to have to go through kind of like the letters of it, but not all the way deep, because basically you have to bend it. So you have to do it in a way that it can actually bend. So you're pretty much going through each letter. Because based on the way the watch is made, you have to make it where it'll actually bend. Okay. So I'm actually doing, so notice how it's going to be able to bend. Just notice what I'm doing here. You'll see about it. You'll see it in a minute once I actually put it on here. Okay. So as you're looking, again, going back to this. So basically now we have it where this part goes right here. But again, it's going to have to bend a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Alright, so if you notice, I'm putting on the side, on the bottom. and on the other side. Alright, so notice I'm going to go ahead and put this because you're going to try to put this together. Okay, so we have this side. So now we got to do the same thing over here. Because notice we got a piece that's missing. So we got to do the same thing over here. And notice what I'm doing. Because you're not actually cutting it, you're just cutting it enough where it can bend. Alright, so if you look right here, this is kind of like the last part of it. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this part for it all to come together. Okay. Try this again. So basically, it's my hot glue gun. I'm trying to make sure I got that situated. All right, so okay. All right, so notice on this side, we're trying to put it together. Okay, so this is what we pretty much have so far. And then we have the top. I'm gonna let this dry first. Yeah, make sure you let the hot glue dry. And then you have the top. And this is actually where you can actually put, things inside. If you want to fill it with something inside of it, you can. Or you can have it as an empty box. So you can sell it as an empty box, or you can sell it with some stuff inside of it. So this is pretty much, the glue has not dried on it yet, but this is how the box will look if you do a good job of making sure you trim the edges right. And you push it in like it's supposed to be. But you can see the way it looks. Now you can see on the back. So you can actually see that's the front. That's the back. And these are the sides. The only thing I would probably do differently is if there's a way you could probably do it from the inside on the white part instead of the blue part, it might make it look better. But this is the viral watch for Father's Day. Let me know if you have any questions.